obviously Dennis does the designs. You're obviously looking after manufacturing, sales, marketing, and all that stuff. So are those cabinets made locally there in Maryland? By you guys have it
No, no. So I think the official term that we use is Dennis is the designer, I'm the producer. We
Okay,
like to have this combo together. And
nice.
if you look at our speaker, um, if you look at the BMR speaker, it comes from 5 different countries.
Yeah,
So if you ask me, and many people ask this question, where was it made?
yeah,
And I said it involved, our whole company involves 7 different countries.
yeah,
So you are contributing to 7 global GDP
of
in the
course.
world when you buy each of them.
Yeah,
The BMR itself has 5 of them, right?
yeah,
It come from Serbia where the tweeter was made.
yeah,
The
yeah,
cabinet was made in China. Crossover comes from Taiwan.
yeah,
You have the BMR from USA. You have the woofer from Indonesia.
yeah, yeah.
So that's 5 of them. Now imagine the supply chain cost of using 5 components. I cannot really have it assembled anywhere but USA
Yeah,
because the
cost
cost is
too huge.
prohibitive.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
I wanted to have it assembled in China, in Taiwan, no, 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 not gonna work,
yeah,
right? Because component come from the world.
yeah.
And that's why it sounded so good because we did not put a cost restriction on how we select components. Most
Right,
of the
right.
OEM, they source the driver from either one or two at most, and
Yeah,
or in-house, and then they try to optimize the supply chain. We optimize the engineering, and
yeah,
because we are smaller volume, so we don't need to do big, but we want to do the best,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Same thing with the BMR tower. The 8-inch radiator is usually using, $14,000
yeah, yeah,
speaker and above.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and when it's interesting, when we try to productionize the BMR tower,
Yeah.
right? I went to Medisound and I said, I want 100 woofers. Oh, what? 100? They sell 32 per year in the United States, and that's
Yeah,
one of the biggest retailer in the world,
yeah,
right? Medisound.
yeah,
So I go to Scan Speak directly, and they usually do not allow them. But because I want the volume, and the head of Scan Speak was like, "Are you serious? We don't produce." So they said, "I don't have enough magnet even to produce 100 for you." So they have to order it, and the first batch I remember took me 7 months
yeah.
for them
Well,
to get the magnet and do that amount of assembly and ship it to me. And that's why and our cabinetry, right? Those are made in China. But I could point you to some brand that costs you $20,000.
right. But no, getting back to your point, yeah, everybody from, and I'm gonna name the names because on my channel I'm not sponsored, so it's okay. You know,
Right, right.
Per Listen is one, MoFi is another, right? ELAC, um, and there's so many more. Polk Audio is another one. All these famous brands, PSV speakers. Paul Barton's like my hero, right? When it comes to speaker design, he's my hero, right? He's been manufacturing in China for the last 15 years, right? His
Hmm.
flagships, everything is designed, in Ottawa at the NRC, all his prototypes, all his, but then once he has the design nailed, he's like, I can't build these to sell them. And again, they're working, their partnership with NAD for the last, almost 40 years.
Right.
So yeah, when people start freaking out about China this, China that, or I had a Denon receiver, Ken, made in Malaysia. Okay.
Hmm.
That thing went to the Goodwill. It was still working,
Right,
right?
right,
I,
right.
I had one of those old Pioneer Universal players, right?
Yeah, yeah, still working.
SAC audio. Same thing. It went to the Goodwill. It was still working. I just didn't have room for all this stuff anymore, right?
Right, right.
You know? And so, yeah, I mean, I still like buying. Technically, when I look at, Philharmonic and what you and Dennis are doing, it's an American company, man,
It
right?
is.
At the
It
end of the
is.
day, it's an American company, right? And people are the same thing. It's the value proposal. When people found out those are only 2 grand, right? And then we had KLH was represented there. Um, Obviously we had ELAC, giving the speakers away, but we also had Polk Audio was represented there. Few other name brands. Again, it's off the top of my head. I can't
Right, right,
remember them
right,
all,
right.
but it was you guys, and when I look at, and that's why when I did the video, right, and when I talked to you, this is if customer orders something, they will have something delivered in this month, right?
Yes,
And
yeah,
that's why I said on the video that there's no problems there. I didn't want to start any stupid rumors, but hey, if you order today, you will get it, just as per the website, right? Without getting
yeah.
into the details. But it's, now have you had to go overseas yet to kind of overlook stuff? Like,
I did that every year.
nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, because it's important to maintain that partnership, and I think also for me to assure the quality.
Yeah,
But now, because so I've been in the field for almost 20 years now.
yeah,
When
yeah,
when my first speaker, it's also designed by Dennis. I actually
yeah.
sell them in Taiwan way
Nice.
before
Yeah,
BMR was available in the United States.
yeah.
And I kind of use that as a prototyping to test out the factory capability.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
speaking of Dennis, how is he doing? I should have said that at the upfront at the
he
beginning of the video, but I kind of,
yeah, he's still in recovery.
yeah,
So I I'm 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 trying to get an update every week.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I think he's physically okay, but
yeah,
he still need to recover
yeah.
from the surgery and all that.
And what happened with Dennis? Because I know he was at Capital Audio Fest.
Yeah, he had a heart surgery
Okay, okay.
and there was some infection after that. So we thought it
Um,
was the surgery, heart surgery was successful. So thank God for
yeah,
that. But then
yeah,
there are infection because of his age and all that. So it's just one thing led to the other. And
yeah.
he has been in hospital for like three months now.
Wow. Now, I
Right.
when this is going back over 20 years ago, my dad had this, heart bypass, open heart surgery and all this stuff. And this was up in Canada because originally I'm from Canada, so
Mhm.
he had the surgery, recovery and all that stuff. But again, like you said, with some people, depending on their age and how their body takes the
Yeah.
surgery, everything is good in the beginning, but then something comes up. And then it did again, it didn't happen to my dad, thank God, but I had friends of mine whose parents have had that surgery and some complication arose. And same thing, they were, bedridden for a couple of months. So, but is he at home right now or is he
Mm.
at the hospital?
No, he's in recovery center.
Oh, yeah,
He's in
okay.
recovery
Yeah,
center.
hopefully,
Yeah, yeah,
everything works out and
yeah.
he gets better. So,
Yeah, and I think we automate a lot of the sales stuff. So
yeah,
the speaker has been assembled in Virginia anyway,
yeah,
since that's what I call Philharmonic Audio 2.0. If you remember 2020,
yeah.
he announced that he's gonna cease the operation,
Yeah.
and I kind of said, hey, why don't I work with you? Let's bring it back
Oh,
on.
that's awesome, man. That is
That's the
awesome.
2.0 star, and I think the goal is we want to make sure the business is sustainable.
Yeah,
So we build a little bit more sustainable profit into that compared to the first version of BMR monitor so that we don't go into debt.
yeah.
Yeah, but we still want to make it very competitive, and I think the cabinetry has increased, the quality has
Yeah,
increased a lot compared to 10 years ago when I was doing the first speaker like a Rebecca that
yeah.
I tried to sell in
Again,
Taiwan.
I only homework I did was when I saw the stereophile article come up, and I think a friend of mine here in Arizona, the same guy that built those open baffle speakers, has a pair of Dennis's. It's the stand. It's the floor standard, but it has a curved top on it.
Philharmonic Audio 3,
Yeah,
Philharmonic 3. Yeah,
yeah, I'll get him to send me a picture, but because when I saw that on the stereophile article, I said, wait a minute, I've seen that speaker before somewhere, right?
right, right.
And then I said, yeah, that's over at my friend's place.
Right,
So,
right. And that's made by a different manufacturer. I think
yeah,
those are actually made in USA for some of the local carpentry
right.
carpenter.
Right. No,
Right,
yeah, but
right.
you're the cabinets you're getting are much nicer looking, dude. Sorry.
Yes, because right
Sorry.
now we
All
use a
respect to
lot of
Dennis, but those cabinets, man, if my wife likes it, now I have
yeah.
a problem.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
use a lot of if you think about the dying audio next generation components coming from the same factory, coming
yeah.
from the same air pressure to do, you see the veneer was
Hmm.
our round over, but the veneer was
But there's no
laminated
ripples, man. It's
so,
perfect.
so smooth.
Yeah,
Right,
no, no, no.
right.
Sometimes when you see um when they apply that veneer, if it's a dull finish, you don't notice it as much. But with your guys, there's such a sheen on it. There's not a single ripple. There's no orange peel.
No,
It's
no, yeah.
absolutely perfect. You don't see a single seam anywhere. Like it
No,
looks like all one
absolutely.
piece, like.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the piano finish, and I used to tell people
Yeah,
when we say piano finish, the BMR monitor that you saw is what I call true piano finish. It has 12 layers of paint, and
yeah,
it's about 0.3 millimeters thick
yeah, yeah,
on that finish.
yeah,
Versus a lot of the piano finish, it's just glossy,
yeah.
right? Glossy reflection. And if you look at our True Mini and the Ceramic Mini,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
were
I'm on the
glossy.
website. Yes, yeah,
Right, but when you get up to the BMR, we use true piano finish, and you could see the quality difference,
yeah.
even if they're the same
Yeah.
color. The perfect mirror finish, it comes from the true piano finish.
No, and when I did that video, then again, when you see, my production quality sucks because again, my channel, I do it for fun. But I was having microphone issues on the last few. I said, okay, this time I'm not going to screw this up. I need to make it look good for the company. Try not to swear too much. But when I get excited, man, it's game over. Game over. I have my little whiskey on the side, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and but the thing was, before I was saying, oh, this is the best thing for $2,000, everybody to just drop what you're doing. I wanted to show the history of what I've had to listen to for the last 5 years, right?
Right, right.
Kef LS50s. I forgot to mention that one, right? If you look at what you guys are doing and what they're doing for 2 grand, go with you guys. Like there's no brainer. It's like, but like what you're doing right now, Ken, is you're trying to get this Philharmonic name
Right.
into people's minds. Obviously, you guys are in. Now, do you guys do any bit like a dealer network here in the US, or everything's strictly online?
Strictly online, and
Good,
I'm
good, good.
trying to, marketing is not a perfect term. It's more like a getting the value that
Yeah,
people understand, right? Most
yeah,
of the people don't know how wonderful those cabinetries are. Even just looking at the cabinetry,
yeah,
and then the sound itself, that's a master's design.
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
and and that's why I made sure in the comments section that all the reviewers who have done the measurements have listened to it a little more critically than myself, that everybody was there. So that way, if somebody didn't like my video, that's cool. Go look at Aaron's. Go look at Mean Genes over at Audioholics, right? Check those guys out, because they're the real deal. They have the measuring tools, they have the ears, they have the subjective, they have the objective. You
no,
know,
I think you are the real deal. I
thanks,
think when I
man.
watch
Thanks.
your video, it gives me the down to earth feeling
That's
of
what people keep saying.
right, because that, and then the way you drink the whiskey, you see, I noticed that. I was asking which whiskey are
Yeah,
you
yeah. No,
you
the thing is,
drinking?
yeah, I'm a Glenfiddich guy, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
my one friend, he lives out in just outside San Francisco. They came to visit, and I guess he must have went to the local Costco, or not. No, no, we have Total Wines, and he can't drink like he used to because he's in his 70s, but he knows what's good, and so he brings me the bottle of Japanese whiskey, single malt. Okay,
Hmm.
nice. Then about a few weeks later, a friend of mine's visiting from Japan on business. His wife and his daughter and all that came because he made it a business/personal trip. So they went vacationing all around California, Nevada, and all this. Eventually, they made their way down to Phoenix and then back to Japan. So I said to Lakshmi, I said, no, we were on a Facebook chat, him and me. He says, Joe, what do you like to drink? I said, single malt. He says, I'll bring you single malt. So he brought me a bottle from Japan, duty free, in the
Mhm.
box, and it was so smooth, man.